Hi guys, it's Steph from IDRIVEACLASSIC, and today I'm back in this amazing Reliant Robin. And no, it's not what Del Boy drove, he had a Regal, but we are going to take this out today, and to paraphrase what many people would say, I hope we have a lovely jubbly day. And we're going to look around the outside of this amazing Reliant, and I've always wanted to try one, so I'm really excited. We're going to have a look inside. Now, you may have spotted this is a well-loved example, but I prefer to test out cars that people are using every day and loving and having a great time in, because anyone can go to a museum and see a car inside a museum being all dusty and boring. I'd rather see the cars that people drive every day. So we're going to take it out for a drive. It sounds a little bit throaty because the exhaust isn't quite attached, but it doesn't matter because we're out for a laugh, we're having a good time, and we're going to take this Reliant on the drive of its life.
You guys have no idea how excited I am to take this Reliant Robin out today. It's a car I've always wanted to drive, and I hope today that this video does it justice, because this car is so special. It's on 3 wheels, for goodness sakes. I mean, how exciting is that? And not only that, it is a Jubilee Edition, which, keep watching the video, I'm going to explain what Jubilee is all about and why it's a very special car. And there are only 800 of this particular type, but we're going to come to that later in the video, so keep watching. Now, as we look around the car, I hope that you're starting to get a real appreciation for what this car looks like. And yeah, for those of you that are saying, well, it's not concours. No, it's not concours, but I really love taking out cars that people drive every day, and I think you get a lot more out of it actually, because you get to see how they've been modified and you get to see how they really wear. And you may be looking at this car and thinking, well, I'm surprised it's not got any rust on it. And the reason for that is this car is completely made of fiberglass in terms of its body and its panels and all the bits you can see. The chassis is metal, but I mean, there's even some cool little stickers on this as well. Hello to Ian from Hubnut there. Now, I'm just going to quickly show you the boot, because it's not a conventional boot, but it also means that carrying stuff around would be a lot more practical. So in the back of this, we've just got a few tools, but you'll be able to see as we look inside just quickly there that everything is quite stripped back and basic, which is, I guess, an essential for when your engine is only 848 and you need to keep up with traffic. So I hope you're getting kind of a bit of a sense for how this car looks and how it's been put together. For me, I'm quite impressed actually. It feels quite sturdy on the outside, and I didn't expect it to, with it being made from fiberglass. I thought it would look and feel quite rickety, but you know, at first glance it's not immediately obvious that this car isn't made of metal actually. I'm really impressed. So before we have a chat with the owner, Oliver, let's have a look inside the car, because unfortunately that's where it lets itself down. As we look inside the car, you'll notice that everything is very basic. Unfortunately, the interior on this particular car is a little bit past its best, but you know, this is what happens when you drive these cars every day. You know, things do wear down. Now, the only thing I don't like about the interior, and I very rarely do say anything bad about a car, is that it does feel quite plasticky. Whereas the outside felt quite robust, this feels a little flimsier inside, but I still absolutely love it, and I think it's brilliant, to be honest. I'm so excited to take it out for a drive, but before we take it out for a drive, I'm going to catch up with the owner, because he's only a teenager, and I wanted to ask him, why have you picked a Reliant, and how's it going for you owning a classic car? So let's have a catch up with him now.
Hi, I'm Oliver. This is my Reliant Robin. I've had it for about 5 years, and I've picked it because they're just really different and I just really like them. I would recommend classic cars to younger drivers because they're a lot more interesting, a lot more fun to drive, and they can be a lot cheaper than buying a new car. I would not recommend a Reliant to a younger driver because they're a bit of a pain to work on, because the engine's sat all the way back here, and they can be a bit of a pain to drive sometimes. And if you want to do any work on it, you can't actually get to anything in here, because you've got the spark plugs are all along there at the back. The oil filters, I think, if I remember correctly, it's down there or down there. I can't really remember. And yeah, it's just a pain.
Well, this is exciting, starting the Reliant up for the first time. Let's have a listen. I've already heard it coming across the car park. Well, I heard it before I spotted it, so let's have a listen. Not bad, is it? Now, what can I say about this little car? It's like I've gone to the fairground and I've picked the most fun ride, and I'm out journeying it now. It's insane. It's like it doesn't feel like a car, and I'm finding it really hard to take it seriously, but I absolutely love a good crack, and I like a good laugh. In fact, one of the reasons I hate modern cars is they are so boring, and this could honestly go down as one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. Now, if you've watched my videos on the regular, you'll know that I absolutely love little cars, and this has been no exception. It's so much fun to drive. I mean, I'm smushed right against the door, but I don't even care. It's such a laugh, and it's really loud, and I mean, who cares? Cars and life are for fun and they're for living, and I think this car is like me living my very best life. It's loud, it's a bit rattly, but who cares? It's brilliant, and it's really converted me to the world of Reliant cars. Previously I'd looked at them as one of those cars that were a bit iffy and a bit strange, but this car, it's got its own character and it's got its own personality, and I'm not sure if it's maybe the best example that I could have taken out, but I don't imagine these were cars especially because they were aimed at that driver who wasn't yet a driver. I don't imagine they were always in like these amazing show conditions that you see, so it's nice to take out a real example and experience what driving was probably like in like the 80s when these cars were like onto their second and third owners. Now this little thing is absolutely bombing along. I thought, especially with the engine being 848, I thought it was going to be quite slow. I thought it was going to be a bit of, not a boring drive, but I thought it was going to be a bit of a plodder. But I have been wowed by this car. It's a bit zany, it's a bit crazy. I love the fact that it's made of fibreglass. It's so quirky, and that's what I really live for when I do like little test drives and stuff, is I love taking out cars that are a little bit different, and this one is just I don't really know how to describe it, but I would just say it's almost like a little fairground ride that you want to go on time and time again, and I can see why they have got iconic status. Now, one of the really interesting things about Reliant and about these three-wheelers is people say, oh well, you know, who was buying a three-wheeler? Now, when they lost a wheel, they also lost something else, and that was basically the thing that made them fit into the category of being a conventional car, which meant that if you had a bike license, and I mean on your provisional you can drive like mopeds and stuff, it covered people on provisional licenses to drive a car. So you went from perhaps only being able to drive a motorbike that only you could go somewhere, to then having the luxury of taking your friends out in a car. Now today we have 3 of us in this car, and because I wanted to see how well it would handle, and you know what, it's really impressive. Like it's not falling back on hills or anything like that. We've been keeping up with just normal town traffic. In fact, I've been quite impressed, and I can definitely see why people said, forget the motorbike, let's go and pick a Reliant. Now, as you probably saw, for those of you that are a little bit eagle-eyed, when we were looking around the car, you will have seen that there was a Jubilee mention on the back, and it might look a little bit different to some of the other Reliant Robins that you've seen. And the reason is this is a special Jubilee model that was released to celebrate, you guessed it, the Queen's Silver, it would have been the Silver Jubilee of 1977, and 800 of these amazing cars were made. So there's a few differences. You've got your badges, and you've got your model on the back. You've got the seats are different, the carpets are different, and it's just one of those quirky little things that manufacturers used to be well into, going for like these little like offshoots. So things like the Minor Million, for example, where they made 349, there were 800 made of these. So it feels very special today to be out in this and experiencing a car that only 800, well, I know there were a lot more, but only 800 of this very special model were made. So it feels like a really good day out, and plus the sun is shining, so having a really nice day out driving this Reliant Robin. And I don't know what I thought I was going to, I don't know, I really I was talking to Oliver, is that they still make parts for the Reliant car, and that's crazy because it's not a car that you see everywhere all the time. But Oliver's reliably informed me that there's a company called Reliant Parts, and they still make all the bits and pieces you need. So again, it's another tick in that box that you could get one of these cars and use it regularly because you have got parts availability, and they share parts with other cars as well, which makes it a car that's quite accessible. They're not too expensive. You've still got those parts there, so you've got that support in the background that you need to keep running that car regularly. And to say it's an 848 is really keeping up with the traffic. And I guess that's down to things like the fiberglass body. It's down to things like, you know, there's not much inside to weigh it down, but it's a really nippy little car, and it's quite easy to park as well. And I remember somebody said to me that these didn't have reverse on, and this has got reverse as well. So really, what more do you need for a cheap, nippy little runaround that's quirky, that's fun, that's classic, and you can put in that classic tax bracket, and you know, will soon becoming, you know, MOT exempt. It's got really all the charm of a classic car, but with that great backing of being able to get the parts as well. So yes, definitely a good choice. Now, I remember a really rubbish episode of Top Gear where Jeremy Clarkson really did these cars down and said they were really hateful, but I'm sorry, Jeremy, I think you've got this wrong, because these cars are exceptional. They're fun to drive, they are hilarious to look at. Like, I love a quirky little car. I drive a Metro, for goodness sakes, and I can honestly say to you, if you want a future cult mini car, I would say go for one of these, because they are really special, really fun, and definitely a car you should try and drive. Now, one of the big things that keep cars going is not just crazy owners like me who are willing to spend more on a car than it's worth, it's also your owners clubs. And I said to Oliver, I said, what's your owners club support like? Have you got one? What are they like? And I did spot a sticker when I was looking around, but you know, they could have disappeared off the face of the earth. And he said no, he was really pleased to report. He said they're ever so nice, they're great for support on things like technical questions and for parts, and they've been really welcoming of Oliver as a young owner as well, and they even invited him to be on their NEC stand last year. And for me, that's the mark of a really great owners club, because owners clubs that are really embracing the young drivers and making them feel very welcome are helping to cement the future of the car that they're driving. So top marks Reliant Club, because I've heard lots of great things about you.
Now, I'll be honest, I have heard nothing but bad things about the Reliant Robin, and I can tell you today, after my little drive around this bit of countryside in Cumbria, that everybody's wrong. These cars are brilliant. I have never had so much fun in a car, if I'm being completely honest, and the three-wheel thing isn't actually a big issue. The only time I remembered I had three wheels was when I tried to get up on a curb and scared myself senseless, if I'm completely honest. But you know, people watch programs like Top Gear and think, oh, you know, what they're saying is true, and people start believing this nonsense. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Everybody you've heard slag these cars off is completely wrong, because they are funny to look at, fun to drive, and an all-round laugh. And I think that they would, you know, they'd make a great little daily, because, you know, you've only got so much rot to worry about. You haven't got to worry about all those panels rotting away as well, like you have with some of the other classic cars. And you can still get parts, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't pick one, to be honest. Now, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about these cars before I wrap up my video. And number one, they were made by Reliant, which is probably completely obvious, and they were made in Tamworth, England, which is kind of in the Midlands really, and they made them for 30 years, which is extraordinary, because how many cars do you know that have been made for 30 years, and cars especially that are this iconic. And they did Mark 1s, Mark 2s and Mark 3s, and if you do a bit of googling, the Mark 3s do actually look quite different, and I think that's because they've got the Corsa B headlights in. Now, the Reliant Robin was actually the second most popular fiberglass car in the UK, and they weren't just manufactured in the UK, they were also manufactured in Athens in Greece. Now, my experience today with my leg getting awfully hot next to the engine, I'm not sure this is the car I'd probably pick in a hot country, being completely honest. And Reliant were the second biggest UK owned car manufacturer as well, which is quite an accolade when you think about it, when you've got all the other manufacturers in the market, like you've got all your BL marks and things like that. Now, I know this is slightly geeky, but one of my favourite things about this car today has been the gearbox, because I didn't expect it to be so smooth, and it's actually a 4-speed synchro, so it's got synchro mesh on all the gears, which you know, to say that it was made when it was made at first, that's quite impressive, because my Morris Minor doesn't actually have synchro mesh on first, and sometimes when you're crawling in traffic it is quite handy. Now, you may also know these cars as plastic pigs, and that's because of the shape and the fiberglass body. And I hope in this video today you've really enjoyed looking around the car, and hopefully I've given you a good impression of one of the cars with the worst PR, probably not only in the UK but in the world.
So I'm very reluctantly handing the keys back to this amazing Reliant Robin, and it's going to take me all my self-control to go home tonight and not look them up on eBay and accidentally on purpose buy one, because they were totally different to everything that everybody had said. People said they were boring, people said they handled really badly, and I'm going to tell you, don't listen to people because they're all wrong. This car was incredible and I enjoyed every single minute of my driving experience. Now it's time for me to hand the keys back, as I said, so the video is also sadly coming to an end. Now, I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video as much as I've enjoyed driving the car and having a jolly good afternoon. And don't forget, if you've not subscribed already, hit subscribe, because new classic car videos go up every Wednesday and every Sunday. And until next time, take care and drive safely.